Hi Suzanne, good evening. How are you? Namaste Vinay. I am fine, thank you. How are you? Namaste Anil. Hi Priya, long time no see, no coffee, no tea. Uh, how are you? I am fine, thank you. Namaste Kavita. Pranam Sahil. Hmm, yes. Good afternoon, Varun. How are you? Happy Janmashtami. Happy Janmashtami, Shilpa. Right. Mars in, Mars in 12th house for Pisces Ascendant, as Mars represents fighting spirit, courage. How will be the courage, fighting spirit of this placement? Will you consider this Mars as a strong Mars? It is like neutral, it is average. Because like Mars is in Aquarius, Saturn ruled sign, but in another sign of Saturn, Capricorn, it is exalted. So it cannot be in enemy sign here. It is just that this person can be like having energy, and he is not able to express it for initial part of his life. It can be a good position for Aquarius related things like new age technology and all. So this is where this person can utilize. Also, like this spiritual matters, yoga, meditation, and all. It can be a good position. Good evening, Swami, Premanand, Bharti. Uh, I have a question. How can I see the lucky chance? Okay, posted the recent suggestion. Got it. Thank you. What should be a planetary position for becoming an astronaut? Okay. Astronaut is like Aquarius should be very strong. Aquarius, 12th house, Rahu, these planets or energies should be very strong in person's chart, and obviously person should be going through the dasha. Uranus is like the same energy as Aquarius. So I don't know if I wrote about it, but largely I wrote about charts of different professions. You may find it. But as I see, like because it is like new age technology, it is things of the beyond. 12th house Aquarius and Rahu. All these things should be very strong. एस्ट्रोलॉजी पीछा ही नहीं छोड़ रही है, दैट्स व्हाई आना पड़ा वापस. ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम, एक्सेप्ट. Whatever is not leaving you, accept it. That's it. That's the way. How much Jupiter aspects play a role in a chart? I give more importance to the planetary position. Okay, planet sitting in one house is always more important than planet aspecting. But Jupiter's aspect, as Jupiter is like a biggest planet, it is heavy energy. Okay, so this is like Jupiter aspect is a strong one. Okay, so you can rely on Jupiter's aspect to give you result. But its aspects are fifth and ninth and seventh. Fifth and ninth is where we need to educate ourselves, and seventh is where we need to share our knowledge with others people. Venus, Mars, Mercury in Virgo with close conjunction. Venus 10 degree. Okay. How does impact if Hasta Lord is in Capricorn? I have ascendant and moon sign Capricorn. This is like can be good position for financial matters. Person can be a good healer also. So for professional matters, like financial matters means financial dealings, stock exchange and all. It can also be like good for healing and healthcare. Okay, because Virgo and Hasta represent both the things. Um, but when it comes to relationship matters, this is a difficult position. Okay, like Venus is debilitated, plus it is with Mars, which is not in good dignity. For relationship matters, it is not that good. Which are the three most wealth giving nakshatra out of 27 nakshatra? Purva Falguni, you can say Rohini, Purva Falguni, Dhanishta, Revati. I will give you four. You asked for three. I give you four. Okay. Uh, Rohini itself represents growing. Okay. It is part of Taurus sign, middle of Taurus. Rohini. Purva Falguni ruled by Venus. And Purva Falguni is celebration. You cannot celebrate if you don't have money. Dhanishta, Dhan plus Ishtha, most money giving nakshatra. And then Revati literally means wealth. Revati's English translation is wealth. uh, Pisces ascendant, Mars placed in first house, then its effect from married life. Great, thank you. Explain the importance of Navamsha charts, sir. Navamsha chart for me, like normally people look at for marriage related matters. I don't look it for those things. I have different views on astrology and marriage, which most of people know. This for me, Navamsha is because it is coming out of ninth house. Ninth house is the highest of the Dharma house. Ninth house shows what dharmic path you should follow in your life, and when a chart is coming out of ninth house of D1 chart, it also should show your dharmic path in life. What is your righteous path in life which you should be following? That is Navamsha. So for me, it is the importance. Navamsha is for following dharmic path. Plus, Navamsha is also for this confirming things. I use for confirming things. Suppose I saw someone's career from D1 chart. Now I will confirm from D9 and D10. They should show the same career. Okay. Saturn and Venus in seventh house for of seventh house of Aquarius. Again, for relationship matters, it is difficult because it is anyways a Leo ascendant chart. They always have difficulties in relationship, and Saturn and Venus are sitting together like lots of frustration in relationship. But when it comes to like business and all, their business can prosper with certain delays, hard work, and perseverance. Okay, for business, it can give like long term success in long term. Okay, but for relationship, it is difficult. Houses are important to see for, or signs are important for Navamsha. Signs are always more important because houses get molded into signs. Okay, but it doesn't mean that houses are not important. Uh, Virgo ascendant, eighth Lord Mars placed in seventh house, then its effect from married life. I hope people can read read the title of the video. Happy holidays, sir. Is there any likelihood of a celibate life in the D1 chart that you know of? I am a Cancer ascendant. Main thing which gives celibacy is like this kind of thing. Pap Kartri Yoga involving seventh house and seventh lord both. Okay, that is a possibility of celibacy. And then Dhanishta Nakshatra. Dhanishta Nakshatra is the nakshatra of celibacy. Okay, so these two things are important. Good evening, Re. Mercury Vargottama in Scorpio in D1, D9, and D10. Vargottama only means is that like a person, whatever results person is getting from like initial life, the same results will continue. So if like in your case, if Mercury in Scorpio has been giving good results in your initial life, then in later life also those results will continue. So this is the main purpose or main interpretation of Vargottama. Vargottama is all about like this sustaining the results. Whatever means it can be a bad result also. If a planet is giving bad results in initial life and it is Vargottama, then that those bad results will also continue. So it is like that. Can you please share some details on Badhak houses? There is an article written on the website. Just search for Badhakesh planets. Okay, Badhakesh houses, Badhakesh planets. You will get all those things. And does magic is associated with Rahu and Ketu? Means if someone is affected by magic, then magic will trigger when Rahu is accompanied by Moon, or Mars or Saturn. Normally Rahu or Ketu. Okay, because they represent illusion. So if someone is I'm talking about the person who does magic. Okay, so someone who has Rahu and Ketu prominent in chart, especially money oriented houses like 11th house or second house, then it is a possibility that that person can be a magician and all that. I'm not too sure of what if a black magic or something like that is applied on someone. I'm not very much into it. Okay. If one has Jupiter and Venus in Lagna Taurus for D9, I will first look at D1 chart, and then I will first analyze D1 chart, then I will come into D9 chart. D9 for me is the chart of right life path, Jupiter, Venus, two teachers coming into Taurus sign in the first house of D9 chart. That means the person should follow the life path of teaching, guiding, counseling related activities. What are Sattvic nakshatras out of 27 nakshatra? I cannot remember like this. So you have to search. There are thousands of websites which can give you this information. Okay. Does 12th Lord conjunction with Lagna Lord provide psychic powers? It can, especially if it is like a spiritual or mystical planet in mystical sign and all that. Okay, suppose Sagittarius ascendant. Okay, Sagittarius ascendant, Jupiter, Mars. Jupiter is the first lord, Mars is the 12th lord. They both are conjunct in a 12th house Scorpio. This is like a great position for psychic powers and all. Also like 8th house. Okay, 8th house also represents mysticism. Uh, Moon and Mars are giving seventh aspect to each other. What will be the result of the uh, physical body of the native? Physical body is first house. Look at first house, first lord position. That is physical body. Why Mula Nakshatra is considered inauspicious by many astrologers? What is your opinion? It is also inauspicious. It is a difficult energy to deal with. There are few nakshatras which are naturally difficult. Okay, like Bharani, Ashlesha, Ardra, Jyeshtha, Mula, uh, Uttar Bhadra. Okay, these are like naturally difficult nakshatras or naturally difficult energies. Mula is because it represents uprooting of something. It represents roots. It also represents uprooting of something and uprooting abruptly. Okay, abrupt uprooting. You are not even thinking what is going to happen, and suddenly, like worst example I have seen of Mula is like there was a friend of mine who got engaged, okay, who was supposed to get engaged with a guy, and they just went for a like evening like a dinner with each other, and I think next day or after next day they were supposed to get engaged. While returning, they met with an accident. Guy got killed in that accident. Okay, so this is Mula, abrupt uprooting. So this is where Mula Nakshatra is really difficult. This is Mars and Ketu conjunct in sixth house Aries. Excellent position. Mars in Aries, ascendant lord. Person can be a very strong-willed fighter. Okay, but he may realize that ability later in life, because it is with Ketu. Ketu is headless. So in initial life, person is very aggressive, is strong-willed, but doesn't know where to apply his strong will and aggression because Ketu is headless. Okay. So in initial life, he can have some difficulties, but after he enters into 30s and all, it is a good position. Moon and Venus in Bharani with Rahu in Ashwini and seventh house, how it affects spirituality. Bharani, Rahu in seventh house for Tula Lagna. A person can be very much into mystical matter. Okay, understand. Bharani is like a nakshatra which Lord is which deity is Lord Yama. Okay, so Lord Yama, as we know, it is he is Lord of death and rebirth and all that. Okay, Lord of death mainly. Okay, so this is where Bharani can give like mystical powers. Okay, or mystical psychic abilities and all. So that's where like person can be very good spiritual healer or psychic and all mystic person. Rahu in Ashwini is also like Ashwini is metaphysical healer. So it is like good combination for following the spiritual or mystical path. If Mercury is debilitated, does it affect the intellectual ability of the person? Not really. Like Charlie Chaplin has Mercury debilitated. So I don't think his intellect was debilitated in any way. Mercury debilitation can bring like issues with the siblings. It can also bring some skin or speech related health issues, nervous system related health issues, but not in work. It is like for intellect and all. It can be actually excellent. You will find great authors with Mercury in Pisces. Mars and Ketu conjunction in Aries in 6,000 Namsha. I will first look at D1 chart, then I will come into D10, D9 chart. In D9, if Scorpio ascendant is there, that means person may change his life path quite normally. It is sudden changes, transformation. So he can have lots of transformation in his life path. Funny, I have my Rahu in seventh house in Dhanishta, and I should be entering around my Rahu Mahadasha in 2024. Great, make good money. Saturn and Ketu in seventh house of Pisces. This is difficult for relationship. Saturn Ketu conjunction anywhere is difficult. Okay, because none of them is a provider. Saturn is limiting things. Ketu is separating you. So none of them is provider for relationship matters. Almost no result. But in business also, person should avoid partnership business. That means he should focus on his own business. By seeing a position, the position of any planet, we can understand that it has the yoga of government job. Yeah, like 10th house should be very strong for any favor from the government. 10th house should be very strong. 10th lord should be very strong. Okay, 11th house also. 11th house is second from the 10th, so it is like this second from the 10th is like gains of the government. How much you are gaining from the government or authorities, that is seen from 11th house. So this is where this thing like government job or IAS and whatever, okay, can be prominent if 10th house, 10th lord, or planet in the 10th house is strong. Any specific combination for miscarriages? One of my friend has Guru Chandal Yoga in fifth house of Navamsha. Can this be a possible combination? Navamsha has nothing to do with childbirth, miscarriage, abortion. Navamsha is chart of your right life path. If at all you want to see a like a chart for childbirth related matters, look at D7 chart. Okay. So and miscarriages depends on like which number of child people are like planning for it. If it is first child, then fifth house. If it is second child, then seventh house. It is third child, then ninth house, like this. And whichever house is like weak, then there is a possibility that person can have abortion or miscarriage kind of thing. Okay, but D9 has nothing to do with childbirth. Is it possible to activate a particular house or planet by doing certain activities? They are always active. We can only be aligned with that activity. Like if I am in my seventh house dasha, okay, every house, every planet is always active. That's why we are active. Okay, activity is not much of concern. You getting aligned with that energy is more concern. Okay, so suppose I'm under my seventh house dasha. Okay, and I'm working in job setup. So where I'm working in 10th house. 10th house is job setup. My dasha is seventh house. So this is where I'm not aligned with my chart energy. Okay, so the main thing is we should be aligned with that. Okay, uh, it is like this. Uh, yeah, I don't think that we are activating any house or planet. That is not possible. It is just that we can be aligned with that energy. Uh, I'm not looking at individual charts, sir. Ram Labhaya Sharma. Uh, right. Venus in 10th house in Purva Bhadra Nakshatra Pada 4. Puru Bhadra Nakshatra Pada 4, that means it is falling into Pisces. Pisces, right. So it is like excellent for career related matters, especially finance and wealth, also the relationship with father and all. But person can have like a elusive approach or delusional approach towards his relationship and financial aspect of life. Person can be delusional. Okay, I will have the best married life or something like that. A person can be delusional. Oh, I have a lot of money in my pocket, so I need not to worry. So this Pisces nature of delusional approach comes. Venus in Pisces can make person delusional about his love romance matters, but for gaining of from authority and gaining from father, it is good position. Person can be very creative. सर यहाँ पे मैं चार्ट नहीं देखता हूँ, आप अपनी चॉइस के एस्ट्रोलॉजर से कांटेक्ट कर लें. You mentioned that Uttarabhadrapada Nakshatra as a difficult nakshatra. Can you please shed some light like you just did for Mula? Uttarbhadra's representation is funeral pyre. Okay, that is enough to give you an indication that why it can be a difficult nakshatra. It can represent death and like a serious health issue, almost being on deathbed and all that. That is why like Uttarbhadra is a difficult time, ruled by Saturn, anyways. What are your views on life direction as in activity and interest of Ashlesha Nakshatra Lagna, Mercury in Aries in 10th house? Ashlesha is most commonly seen for psychologists. Because Ashlesha is your insecurities, your clingingness, your emotional insecurities. Cancer Ashlesha, Cancer is emotions, and Ashlesha is insecurity. So emotional insecurities. So it is like person can have lots of psychological burden himself, and then they can resolve that and help other people having psychological issues. So psychology becomes the most important profession for them, for Ashlesha people. Do we assess nakshatra lord placement for evaluation of results? We should. Nakshatra, what nakshatra does is that it makes it more precise. Uh, what is the best transit for new job? Fifth house. Fifth house is like 8 from the 10. So whenever fifth house is active in dasha and transit both, person can get a job offer. Okay, there is a possibility of getting a job offer. What are the signs of a weak sun? Does a weak sun makes a person arrogant? It is like what it can make is that person is lacking self confidence. He is having inferiority complex, but he cannot present it in front of people. So he overcompensates it and presents himself as an overconfident person. Okay, so narcissistic behavior can be seen from weak sun. So whenever sun is in weak dignity, enemy sign or debilitation and other malefics are also impacting, then there is a possibility of person having like this type of energy of weak sun, low confidence and all, and because of that low confidence they present themselves as an arrogant person. Retrograde Mercury and Venus in sixth house Capricorn dispositor Saturn in Libra house displacement. For financial reasons, great. Like Mercury Venus combination can give you lots of analytical skills, financial analysis and all, stock market and all, great. But when it comes to relationship matters, it is difficult. I have very weak willpower. Which planet is the reason? Mars is which is in Virgo with Mercury or Sun in Leo, making eighth house from Capricorn, uh, Capricorn ascendant and Moon. A strong will, weak willpower. Mars is in Virgo because Sun is very strong for you. I will say Mars in Virgo. Rahu in Aquarius at 0 degree will be considered in Aquarius or Capricorn. I will consider in Aquarius only. Uh, how do you see a Parivartan Yoga between two debilitated planets for Libra ascendant with Mars in 10th house and Moon in second house, both in debilitation sign? Read the chart of Ramdas. Okay, on website or anyways you can find Ramdas chart, RAMDASS. Okay, Ramdas horoscope. He had the similar situation, planetary position. So that chart may be helpful. Currently undergoing Rahu Mahadasha. How can I align? Rahu and Mars in 10th house, Pisces ascendant. Rahu Mars in 10th house. Rahu Mars in Sagittarius. Okay. So get yourself in any activity of Sagittarius nature. With authority figures, you can have lots of issues, too strong malefics, lots of dominance struggle and all. If you can start your own business, great. So that will be good and great. But otherwise, like just get into any Sagittarian activity of knowledge sharing, guiding, counseling people. Even if you are working in job setup, take the role of trainer, coach, counselor, and all the Sagittarius related activities. Uh, is debilitated 12th lord bad for foreign travel? And debilitated 12th lord, it depends on which planet is debilitated. Okay, so if it is Saturn debilitated, then it is really bad. But if it is like Mercury debilitated, then I may not be concerned much. Okay, Mars debilitated, again very bad. Okay, so it depends on which planet which is debilitated. Um, so if malefic planet is debilitated, okay, just be extra careful while traveling. And if you can avoid, then well and good. If benefic planet is debilitated, not much of concern. What is five planets aspect own house in Kundli? What will be its effect? It is planet aspecting its own house, which I understand that you are asking. They are aspecting own sign. So it is like I'm standing guard outside my home. I'm protecting my home. So this is what happens when planet aspects its own sign. Okay, and they kind of protect that house, that sign energy. So it is good placement to have like planet aspecting its own sign. Ketu is considered same as Mars. So what is the difference between Ketu Mercury and Mars Mercury? Conjunction and problems related nervous system will be fixed by Mercury or Mars Ketu. Ketu Mercury gives more nervous system related issues because Mercury represents nervous system. Mars Mercury can also bring this meningitis related like issues. Okay. Uh, so they both are difficult energies, depends upon like how person utilize it. Mars is efforts and actions also. Mercury is collection of information. So person may be like very much into collecting lot of information. Ketu Mercury is also like collecting lots of research oriented material. So for those activities, this is excellent position. But for health matters, some nervous system related health issues can come up. So person needs to take preventive care for that. How do you see this time for Aries ascendant with current transit going through Saturn Dasha? Saturn is like in your 10th house. It is Jupiter is in Pisces. Maybe some expenses, some major expenses the person is going through. Also like stress at work. Okay, person may be feeling stressful at work. Lots of stress in relationship because Ketu is transiting 7th house. Saturn is aspecting 7th house. Is Saturn in 8th or 6th from Venus bad for relationship? There is no chart which is good for relationship. Okay. If I'm looking at career, and do I look for placement of 10th house Lord in D1, how it is placed in D10, or do I look at 10th house in D10 chart? Steps for career are ascendant. This is for D1 chart first. Ascendant Lord, ascendant and ascendant Lord position, ascendant nakshatra and ascendant nakshatra Lord position, second house and second Lord position, 11th house and 11th Lord position, 10th house and 10th Lord position, Rahu position, Bhrigu Bindu, Atmakarka, Mattakarka, Mahadasha, Antardasha, transits. Then same things in D9 and D10 chart. These are the steps to look at someone's career. Jupiter and Moon conjunction in first house for Libra ascendant. Excellent. Okay, it is like Gaj Kefri yoga happening in the first house. Person can be good, rich, and all that, and more so when they are in any Jupiterian related profession like guiding, counseling, and all, sharing knowledge. Is it morally correct to plan Muhurat for childbirth? Everything is morally correct. Everything is happening because of God's wish in this world, universe. Universe is allowing you. Then only you are planning for child and like Muhurat and all that. Now, if universe didn't want that child to be born at that Muhurat, then he will still not take birth. Don't worry. Just because you are making a muhurat doesn't mean that child is supposed to take birth at that time only. Labor pain can happen one day before, one day after also. Okay. In all the C-section related consultations I have given so far, only once it happened that the time which I gave, the C-section took place at that time only. In most of the cases, labor pain started like 1 day or 2 day before that time, and the child took birth before. So don't worry, you are not running the show anyways. What are planetary positions of for good longevity? Eighth house is the house of longevity. So if eighth lord is strong, eighth house is strong, person can be having a very long life. Does Ketu rule Scorpio or Pisces? Scorpio. It co-rules Scorpio. Pisces is co-ruled by Neptune. Scorpio is co-ruled by Pluto also. Aquarius ascendant having Lagna Lord Saturn in 12th house in Capricorn. Please share your views. Foreign settlement can be a possibility later in life. Okay, so if person wants to settle down in foreign lands, it can be a good position. Also, like I have seen people interested in law or psychology a lot, with Saturn ruling the first house, sitting in the 12th house. The seventh drashti of an exalted planet will be on its debilitation sign. So, should this read have so should this be read having a bad effect on that house? I don't think so. I have exalted Jupiter aspecting my third house. I don't think I'm getting bad results of Jupiter. Okay. How to study astrocartography? There are two articles written on the website, astrocartography in general and with example with Amitabh Bachchan's chart. Okay, astrocartography. So those two articles may be helpful. Just check. Astrocartography, Astro Saxena, you should get it. Will debilitated Navamsha positions of Moon and Venus in Bharani in Rashi chart be bad for their significations? Is visiting Kamakhya in Assam helpful for Bharani planet? I don't know anything about they're visiting this place or that place. I'm away from the remedies. That place may have some spiritual significance. I'm not into all those things. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, they are this thing, and this thing I'm telling about the difficult position in Navamsha it impacting the D1. I feel that Navamsha is coming out of D1. So rather than like Navamsha impacting D1, D1 impacts Navamsha. So I will not borrow this logic. Do you believe in law of attraction? Yes, I do, and I have manifested many things in my life, and I still manifest. Saturn in 12th house in Aquarius, aspected by Rahu and Mars. Saturn in 12th house in Aquarius, aspected by Rahu and Mars. Person should be very careful about his expenses. He can be spendthrift. But for spiritual purposes, it can be good for in later life. Is ascendant lord in eighth house can for Cancer ascendant very bad? Ascendant lord in eighth house, even if aspects from Saturn in the second house. Uh, it is no planet is inherently good or bad. It depends on how you utilize it. This can be an excellent position for someone who is in research oriented fields, who is into psychology and to help people through psychology. This is great. But when it comes to like his own mental peace and all, maybe in initial life he may have lots of instability. Okay, for psychology related professions, it is great. For research oriented matters, it is great. Which planet makes a person highly ambitious? Sun. Sun is your authority recognition. Also, Rahu. Rahu is your past life desires, which you are here to accomplish. Is there any book of Osho you would like to recommend? Everything. Read as much as you have possible of Osho. One book, it depends on the person's interest, what they want to read. Like if you want to read about India's history and all, then India My Love. Okay, India My Love by Osho. It is excellent book. It is the one book which I gift normally to my friends or whomsoever they visit my house and all. So I like to gift that book, India My Love. Other books like which I read, which I like most is this Gita Darshan. I'm reading it. I have already listened the whole preaching once. Now I'm reading it. Okay, and I can see the huge difference it makes, like in reading something and in listening something. Reading you require more focus, so that is what I'm feeling right now. That it is requiring more focus, and I'm reading more consciously, and it is helping me a lot. So Gita Darshan, if you have patience to read, because it is like 8 volumes, it is like at least 4,000 pages. Okay, so if someone has that much of patience to read, Gita Darshan is the best thing. Okay, because it covers everything. Gita Darshan is like whatever you can imagine under the sky is there in Gita Darshan. Another book, if you are especially into mystical side of life, Book of Secrets. Okay, Book of Secrets is excellent for mystical side of life. If you are into Sufism, then the people of the path. Okay, Sufism. Okay, so if I continue narrating the books, the whole session will go there. Is dhyan or awareness in each moment the key to spirituality, as Bhagwan Osho emphasizes in all his discourses, irrespective of external event? Right. Uh, if Mercury is related to Ashlesha, how would you consider mental tendencies of a person if Kathni Karka is Mercury for Cancer ascendant? It rules 12th and 3rd, finally Moon in Jeshta. It in initial life it can bring like psychological issues for this person, emotional insecurities, but in later life he can be a help to other people. I am fine, Aditi madam. How are you? Long time no see. Eh? What factors do you consider to judge D10? What is the consequence of Saturn 10th house on D9 and D10? For like in D1, I already mentioned in the earlier portion of this video. Okay, that what things I will consider in D1 and D10 and D9 ascendant Lord position, ninth house, ninth Lord position. Okay, nine because D9 is coming out of ninth house, ninth Lord position. If you want to see Atma Karaka, okay. Likewise, in D10 chart, ascendant Lord position, D10 and D10 is coming out of 10th house, and 10th Lord position. Atmakaraka, Mathakaraka. So these are the things I look for D9 and D10 chart. For confirmation, as I said, they are more for me. They are more charts of confirmation. Also, like D10 is like you said, Saturn in 10th house in D9 and D10 shows that person may realize their path, their career path, or they may get their authority recognition later in life. Okay, can a debilitated planet from Buddha Tithi Yoga with Sun, if Sun is at 22 degree? It depends on like which house sun rules in the chart. There are some rules that if like sun is ruling the Kendra houses and it is with debilitated planet, then it can bring Neech Pangraj Yoga. If possible, will you please do a celebrity chart of Queen Elizabeth, Lord Mountbatten, and Churchill Winston? I will try. Thank you. Uh, Hello, Radha Madam. Yo, that's great. What are the results of Rahu in 8th house for, say, Taurus ascendant? Rahu in 8th house, excellent position for knowledge oriented matters. Rahu is in Sagittarius, 8th house. So, this is like 8th house Sagittarius is excellent for research oriented knowledge, higher education, and then guiding and counseling people. Maybe perfect mystic. You mentioned Navamsha as the chart of right life path. I have Sun Jupiter conjunction in 12,000 Aries. How we read this? Nothing like that. Don't go for shortcuts in reading. First, go for D1 chart complete, then can go into D9, D10, and all. Okay, then you can have better perspective of your chart. I don't even know anything about your D1 chart. How can I just simply say every things about your D9 chart? Okay, so follow the whole process. Can we know persons' vasanas through chart? It is better not to be judgmental about it, and because the same house represents different things. 12th house represents meditation, also 12th house represents spirituality, also 12th house represents intoxication, also 12th house represents sex also. If person has planet in the 12th house doesn't mean that they will be interested in this or that. Okay, they can be interested in any of these things. So it is better not to make an opinion about person's desires and all through their chart. Just like Srimad Bhagavatam, my obsession with Srimad Bhagavatam. Great. Do you put much basis on Gemini astrology? I just use Karakas, Atma Karaka, Matta Karaka, these things. Okay. So I just utilize Gemini astrology there. Could you write an article on your page recommending good Osho books? For me, every book is good. That article may not never end. So, as I said, like it depends on your interest, what you want to pick up from Osho. Osho has spoken about everything what was there at his time. Okay, and beyond that also. Okay. So it depends on the person, basically what he is interested in. Let me know what is your interest. I may be able to tell you the best book as per your interest. Okay. So every if someone is interested in politics, Priest and Politician, best book. Okay. If someone is, let me see. Mm, if someone is interested in Krishna, okay, Krishna, the man and his philosophy. If let's say someone is interested in Kundalini, uh, uh, the in search of miraculous, okay. So it depends on the person, what is his interest. Third house Lord Dasha can help in a competitive exam if well placed. Third house Lord Dasha. Competitive exams are mainly seen from sixth house. Sixth house is competitions, so that's where the sixth house is more important. Sixth house, sixth lord. Is it starting or ending zodiac sign have a special energy like around 0 degree and 29 degree and planets? 0 degree is like where it is like energy is kicking. Okay, kick is start. Okay, so it is like the energy of that sign is like really fresh and kicking at initial degrees. Later degrees is like an elderly person in your family. They have lots of wisdom, but they don't have that much of physical strength. So we can take guidance from the planets which are in later degrees. In middle is like where the intensity of the sign is strongest, like between 10 to 20 degree. Okay. Uh, always is eighth drashti of Mars always bad, even if it is on its exaltation sign. It is difficult, I won't say bad, it is difficult because the eighth house is the house of instability, ups and downs. So person may have instability wherever Mars eighth aspect is going, but it is also aspect of determination. Person remains determined to make things stable. Why is Sun considered bad for Libra when it rules house of desires? Sun is Sun is ego. Libra is the sign of relationship. Ego and relationship cannot go together. Thank you, Priya Madam. How are you? Thank you for today's session. You're welcome. What is the best way to see no marriage? Keep in the seventh house. We cannot say that uh, because marriage remains a social institution. If you even if you have all the malefic planets sitting in the seventh house, society will get you married somehow. Okay, so we can only say that person should not get into relationship or marriage when like many malefics are sitting there. Tad Bundy. And does too many planets in a Scorpio is always considered bad? Again, it is difficult. Okay, I will not say bad because it depends on the person how he utilizes the energy. Same Ted Bundy was also a psychology graduate. Okay, so he could have utilized the same energy in psychology and he could have served people great, but he didn't do so. Okay. So this is where this Scorpio is a difficult hand. Scorpio ascendant or many planets in Scorpio is difficult. Uh, does Jupiter in fifth house in Aquarius give good results despite lording uh, third and sixth? It again like the same thing. Anything inherently is not good or bad. It depends on the person how he utilizes. If the person is doing something related with fifth house Aquarius Jupiter, if they are in any profession of counseling, guiding, and teaching people through their self efforts and business, excellent position. But if they are not doing it, not a good position. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Which one is better from the point of view of relationship? Venus Mercury conjunction in Virgo or in Pisces? They both have their own difficulties. Venus Mercury in Virgo is like person who is very much practical, looking for a perfect relationship. Okay, looking for a perfect partner, perfection in relationship. Okay, and Venus Mercury in Pisces is delusional. Okay, they cannot see the reality of the things. Okay, so they both have their own difficulties. How would debilitated Mercury Mahadasha for an Aries ascendant? Mercury is debilitated in 12th house Pisces. So if person is doing something related with Mercury 12th house or Pisces, it can be excellent dasha. But if he is not doing anything, he may feel a sense of loss. What's good Osho book in on his views of Christianity versus Hinduism? Uh, I know, like he has some preachings on Jesus and Christianity. Uh, like if you just search for Osho on Christianity, you will find on these books. One book I can remember is just a second. The Last Testament. I will recommend. Okay. The Last Testament is one of the his work, okay, on Christianity. So that again it is like a huge. It is like 6 volumes, the Last Testament. But if you have patience, read it. For Virgo ascendant, how can Rahu Mars in the seventh house can benefit a person if the person is into seventh house related matters or Pisces related matters, business and spirituality. Thanks, Sahil, for donation. I have noticed that exalted Venus can sometimes be bad for relations. Very high expectation. Would you agree? Yeah, I always agree. There is no chart which is good for relationship. Could you shed some light on combinations in D20 for good spiritual progress or past life spiritual progress from D60? If not these charts, what planets do you use in D1 to see this? For spirituality, we start with D1 chart. Look at ascendant lord position. First of all, planet in the ascendant and ascendant lord. Then go into ninth house, 12th house. Okay, especially 12th house. All the Mokshamargi houses, 4th, 8th, and 12th are important, and their lords. The look at the dasha of the person. Now come into D20. Look at the same things in D20 chart, especially like planets like Jupiter and Ketu. Okay, so that will give an idea like how much a person can be spiritual in this life, or which dasha can make him inclined towards spirituality and all. So this is the way about this past life thing. And D60, understand again, like D60 changes every alternate minute, every second minute is it is changing. So I'm unable to rely upon D60 that much. Okay, because we cannot be so sure of our time of birth up to the minute. Okay, so I don't rely on D60. I rely on D1 and other divisional charts. For this matter, spirituality, D1 and D20. Harman, Sun in first house, Moon in the seventh house, Aquarius ascendant, also daytime 7-9 a.m. Do Mahabhagya Yoga applicable here? I have to see. I don't remember yogas like this. I have to see what is the definition of Mahabhagya Yoga. But Moon in the seventh house, Leo, get into any creative business. Leo is the sign of creativity. So, and seventh house is the house of business. Get into any creative business that will be excellent for you. For Cancer ascendant, how personality is affected by Moon Mars conjunction in 11th house in Taurus ascendant, Taurus sign. Uh, how personality is affected by Moon Mars conjunction in the 11th house. It is like a person can be very aggressive by nature, ambitious, I should say. Moon is mind and Mars is like actions. Person is very action oriented and ambitious in achieving things. 11th house is recognition. He wants to like be recognized and all that. So it can make someone very ambitious by nature. If two planet in conjunction and one planet antardasha running, uh, it's possible the another planet houses result. Another planet gets activated. If I have, let's say, like a Sun Mars conjunction, and I'm going through Sun Dasha, Mars is active, but I won't consider that Mars houses are also giving the result. Okay. Can one always eventually rely on yoga karak to give yoga karak to give benefit results? Yoga karak, yeah, and they are considered as auspicious planet, especially in their dasha. But again, person has to do something related with the yoga karak planet and its actions. Whatever they are indicating, person has to do something. Then only we can expect results. Venus, Sun, Mercury in Lagna, Scorpio, Ascendant. What can I expect? Great. Uh, do like things related with research, occult, mysticism, and all. It can be excellent placement for you. Any research oriented work can be excellent. Namaste, Kirit sir. How are you? How can we see Chalit chart? There is an article. That is a long process. How Chalit chart, Astro Saxena, just type and you will get it. It is basically used in Bhrigunadi Jyotish. Uh, then what are the results of Rahu with ascendant Lord in seventh house? Person can be very much about relationship matters. It also depends on which ascendant it is. Okay, but person can be obsessed about relationship matters, and because of that obsession, they may get into wrong relationships. They may be blind. Uh, but it is also like this thing business oriented person. You're welcome, Mayank. Mahak. Your articles are so worthy. I wish I can learn this science from you. You are literally an amazing person. Thank you. Anyone can learn from me. So let me know if I am of any help in learning. Okay. When judging Mahadasha, should we place equal importance of the planet nakshatra and their lord? Equal importance, planet nakshatra and their lord. Uh, they come later in hierarchy. Okay, and it is not that they like first of all we need to when a planet dasha is going on, first of all karaka of that planet, then house lord, then house position, sign position, then conjunction, then aspects, then it comes later in like which nakshatra they are placed in and where the sign lord or nakshatra lord is sitting. Okay, that is later in hierarchy, not like first in hierarchy. So बाल अवस्था का ग्रह कितना और कैसा फल देता है यदि लग्नेश हो वो वो सब अच्छे फल देते हैं जब तक उसकी डिग्निटी अच्छी है। ये कोई इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है कि बाल अवस्था या वृद्ध अवस्था, अगर डिग्निटी अच्छी होनी चाहिए वो रिजल्ट दे देगा। हाउ डू यू रिमेम्बर मैनी कॉम्बिनेशन, इज इट about remembering or is it an art? Nothing like it is experience. If you do things regularly, it can be the same. So nothing about it is not that I remember. If I remember, I may forget. Okay. If in Antardasha, first and eighth house is strongly active, what is represent 1 and 8? I didn't get your question. Please rephrase it. Thank you, Rishabh, for the donation of 5 USD. राहु बुध शुक्र की युति एंड 9 भाव में कैसा फल देगी? कर्क राशि। इफ द पर्सन, ये जो व्यक्ति है अगर 9th हाउस और कैंसर से रिलेटेड, कर्क राशि से रिलेटेड कोई काम कर रहा है, बहुत अच्छा फल देगी। अगर नहीं कर रहा है तो बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेशन होगी। सन इन एरीज, सैटर्न इन लिब्रा, both exalted and seen through seventh drashti. Which one will be dominant and how will they negatively, positively affect each other or houses? Saturn is always the dominating force. Okay, Saturn is impacting Sun. So in initial life, person will still have lots of ego issues, ego hurt, and all that. If the person is able to sustain that, and in later life they can have much better career authority recognition. Kumbh Lagna, let me finish this session in next couple of minutes. Okay, I will not be taking any further question. This is the last like 4-5 questions. कुंभ लग्न हाउस 7 सन मून एक साथ कैसे होते हैं, लाइफ पार्टनर कैसी? ओके, ग्रेट. Please read the title of the video. How Jupiter and Moon perform in Anuradha Nakshatra, 4th house, Mars in 7th house. Is it good combination for foreign settlement? Um, Jupiter Moon in Scorpio and Mars in 7th house. Foreign settlement is mainly seen from 12th house or 9th house. So focus on them. Jupiter Moon in Scorpio can show instability at homeland, may not be like a possibility of foreign lands unless the 12th house or 9th house and Rahu are important, are getting activated. And this is do combust Mercury give result if planet placed in first house, Aquarius ascendant? Do combust Mercury give result if placed in first house? Yeah, it can give result in business and communication. Later in life, the person can be good if he is doing anything related with the business. What is Saturn the Karaka for? Saturn is delays, hard work, perseverance, illness, misery, ailments, and all the difficult things you can imagine. That is Saturn. For Saturn Mahadasha, what things should a person focus on? Check my video on Saturn Mahadasha. If no planet is inherently good and bad, what it is? They are energies. Energies are just as is. Everything is just as is in this world. It depends on you, how you utilize it. Result of Shukra Mahadasha, Ketu Antardasha, Shukra and Lagna with the it can be like excellent dasha for your research studies and education, but in relationship matters, avoid any like major decision like commitment in relationship and all. For spiritual growth, it is excellent dasha. For materialistic pursuit, Ketu dasha is never a good dasha. Avoid all your ambitious plans. Yo, Nitish ji, I replied, I guess. लाइफ पार्टनर मालूम नहीं सर, लाइफ पार्टनर कैसी? व्हाट इज द इफेक्ट आई व्हाट इज द इफेक्ट्स आई वॉट यू? चित्रा नक्षत्र में मंगल 12वें भाव में, आर्किटेक्चर, कुंभ लग्न, then please answer because next अंतर दशा में फर्स्ट एंड 8th हाउस एक्टिव है। ये दशा वगैरह के सारे वीडियो हो गए। ओके, आप चेक कर सकते हो, प्लेलिस्ट में आपको मिल जाएंगे। व्हाट आर द रिजल्ट ऑफ केतु इन द फर्स्ट हाउस? Ketu in the first house in Rahu's nakshatra of Swati for Tula Lagna. Person should focus on the 7th house related things, that is relationship or business matters, basically business matters. First and 8th का combination क्या result देता है? Result ये देता है कि like life में transformations आते हैं, changes आते हैं. Person should be receptive towards those transformation and changes. Okay, thank you.